Yo, what is going on, guys? Socho322 here, and I am your coach of the Portland Timbers in the All-Star Showdown League. And today, I have for you guys my ASL Season 5 draft analysis. And yeah, if you guys did not check out the draft, it was streamed on Saturday, March 17th. It was loads of fun, especially for me because I got sniped a total of like 9 times. But nonetheless, go check that out. If I forget to link it in the description, just go check it out on the ASL YouTube channel. But yeah, so I have for you guys my draft analysis. Going to be going over this team that I've drafted and will be using in the 5th season of the All-Star Showdown League. And yeah, please go leave a like down below, subscribe so you guys stay updated for all of the ASL content that I'm going to be pushing out for you guys. And this season I'm going to try and do live comm, just because now that I have 2 monitors I can do calcs off to the side. So it's like less cluttered, and it's just, I feel like live comm is easier because you don't have to play the match and then record it. You just do it all in one, and it's more time efficient. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about my draft. So going into the draft, what you see on your screen is not even really close to what I wanted. The core that I really wanted to work around was a Mega Scizor, Zyger 50%, and Keldeo core. That's what I wanted to go with. The pick rolled around to Ian. He scooped up Mega Scizor, and a couple picks before that, TCP picked up Zygarde 50%. So it was unfortunate, but yeah. And I hope you guys like the HD sprites. They look clean. So I was really panicking. I had the 12 pick in the draft, and these picks are like out of order in comparison to like what you can see on the side. Just because this is the order that I picked them. So actually, I want to put my cursor on the screen. Capture cursor. So you guys can see where I'm going here. It's not even working. Okay, but so it got around to my pick, and I was really thinking, because the backup plan that I wanted was Excadrill, Mega Charizard X, and then Latios, or not a Charizard X, Charizard Y. So I was like, all right, let's just go Excadrill. Sand is a very good base. It's a very good building block, so okay, now my cursor's working. So we have Excadrill here, the janitor, and Excadrill, I've used it only in the past in another league. The ISA was my own league, but it didn't go, it only went like 7 weeks, but I went 7-0 with that team, and it was built around Excadrill and T-Tar Sand. I don't have T-Tar on this team, you can see. I'm going to try out with Gigalith, but Excadrill, just a fantastic Mon. If you guys have never played Mons, then you probably don't know what this is, but if you've played Mons, you know what this thing is. Best Sand Sweeper in the game. It is the best Weather Sweeper in general in the game, just because, unlike Mega Swampert, it can run Z moves to break its counters, but I actually don't have a Z move on this thing. But I'm thinking I can use a transaction to move this to my Z user, if I so choose to, but it's got okay coverage. It doesn't really need a whole ton of coverage, to be honest. Its stabs are fantastic. You run Earthquake, Iron Head. Poison Jab is really unnecessary unless you want another way to hit grass types, but I think X-Scissor is more effective for that. You can SD, you can run Stealth Rock Rapid Spin for a bulky set, which is why it pairs so well with my Megazard X. Or not Megazard X, Megazard Y. I gotta get used to saying Megazard Y. But yeah, it doesn't have a whole ton of coverage because it doesn't need a whole ton of coverage. You just Earthquake, Iron Head, SD, and just start ripping through things. Of course, you got the Rock Slide for them flying types. But yeah, very, very good Mon. Its speed isn't as great as you'd think, but then when it's getting doubled, it's just fantastic in Sand Rush. And the really high HP stat makes up for its defenses and makes it able to be like Assault Vest Mon or something like that. But yeah, Excadrill, one of the best spinners in the game. I think it's the second best spinner in the game, right behind Starmie in my opinion. But yeah, Excadrill, it's a very good building block to start out with. So going into the second round, I was like, alright, I could probably wait on this pick till the end of the draft because no one has ever drafted it in any league that I've ever been in. So I'm like, I don't know, I could wait on it, but I went ahead and grabbed it just because it's an absolute freaking monster. And I went ahead and got Mega Charizard Y, I'm going to call it Spitfire. And this thing hits like an absolute truck. It's a very big rock weakness, but if you guys saw in Season 3, I used Mega Pinsir pretty well, 13 kills with it. And we're trying to follow that path, Mega Charizard Y. It has a monstrous 159 special attack stat, which is absolutely ridiculous. And its coverage is pretty good, so its stabs are good, it's decent, and then it also gets things like Brick Break, Crunch, Earthquake, of course a bunch of dragon stuff. Focus Blast is really nice. The biggest coverage move being Solar Beam, which I don't know why it's usually useless, but Solar Beam is really good because it sets up Drought, and it gives you a base 120 grass move that never misses. So that's awesome. Well, it can miss if your accuracy is lowered, but you also have stuff like Thunder Punch. Basically anything Zard X would get is what you can run with this. So it can, like, common sets are just 3 attacks Roost, 3 attacks Tailwind, Dragon Dance is a set, just straight up offensive. And it's such a good mon. If you want to nuke things, just run Overheat. You don't even need to run Fire Blast. Just, you want a guaranteed kill, go ahead, run Overheat. It's a really fantastic and undervalued mon. Base 100 speed. It's a little bit to be desired, but it's at the 100 speed block, so that's nice. The 115 special defense is pretty good. Again, the 159 special attack is ridiculous. It has the same attack stat as an Infernape, if you want to put that into perspective with the likes of Dragon Dance possibilities. And its defense and HP are not what you'd want, but really this thing is just going to be a special attacking monster. And when you think of like counters to Excadrill, you think of like steel types that are off the ground. Well, guess what? This Megazord is going to destroy those mons. And really, Zard just doesn't like it doesn't like fast rock types. It doesn't like rocks in general. So Excadrill can deal really well with those, and I feel like these two form a really good core to start out my team. And I feel like I panicked a little bit on this third pick as well, because I was like, let me just get it. It's a mon that I really wanted to use, and I kind of centralized my team around it in the other one. But I went ahead and scooped up Keldeo, naming it Little Sebastian, and I don't know if it's I-A-N or I-O-N, but I'm sure it's... I'll figure it out after this. But yeah, Keldeo, very, very good mon. It doesn't pair as well as I would it doesn't pair perfectly with the other two, but it pairs pretty well with the other two. Not gonna lie, it takes off a lot of pressure on Zard to get rid of those steel types, and Keldeo can just really beat through them. But it also helps my speed tiers because it gives me something over base 100, nice base 108. Pretty good special attack stat. It's not bad as a bulky mon, 91 HP and 90 in both defense, and special defense is nothing to laugh at. Attack is usable if you want to run like a Swords Dance set, but 129 special attack, definitely not bad. And this is one of my Z captains, so you get 2 Z captains, and only one of them can be a tier A pick. So, like, these first 3 mons are my tier A picks, because you get 3 tier A and 5 tier B and 4 tier C. But yeah, I wanted to put it on Keldeo instead because I didn't want both of my Sand Sweepers to have Z crystals. So yeah, that's Keldeo there. Keldeo, it's a relatively straightforward mon. It really just runs like Scald or Surf or Hydro Pump. Then you got Secret Sword or Focus Blast, Icy Wind, Poison Jabs, Stone Edge. Taunt is a really cool option. Fast taunt users are really, really good. X Scissor is a thing, but I think Poison Jab is going to serve your needs for most of the time. But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward mon, but it doesn't matter. It's just so good at what it does, being a special wall breaker. And its typing really allows it to break through a lot of typings. And I really like it. It's a mon I've wanted to use for quite a while, and I've just never really found the right draft to use it with. But I think this is going to be a really good draft for Keldeo. But a big thing that this means is that I'm going to have to draft another water type that's actually bulky down the road, because I don't want to force this into a defensive role a lot of the time. So then going into the 4th round, I was like, okay, so I have 3 fantastic offensive mons that really function well together. So let's go ahead and build a nasty core. Now, I wanted a grass type that can benefit from the sand, or from the sun, and I was like, okay, so we're going to get Synth. Synthesis on there, and I was like, okay, Amoonguss, that works well. So I went ahead and picked up Amoonguss. We got Poison Ivy, and Amoonguss is kind of a straightforward mon, so you can see like the straightforward theme here, but there's a lot of things that you can actually do with Amoonguss, surprisingly. So it's got some decent stats, 114 HP I love, 70 defense is not the greatest, and 80 special defense is not the best, but the 114 HP is good. And the fact that it can have the same special attack as attack, that's not bad. I like that. So yeah, looking in here, Clear Smog, Foul Play is something that I really want to try out. Giga Drain, you can always run a Hidden Power. Nature Power, if you're like up against a Tapu, you can maybe like use their terrain against them with the Nature Power. That's something. Sledge Bomb, of course, and the fact that it gets Stomping Tantrum is awesome. Like, for example, if a Heatran wants to come out, you could just click Stomping Tantrum and do over 50% of that thing, which is awesome. But yeah, the big thing that I want to capitalize on here is Synthesis. It gets 75% health back in the sun, which I really, really like. And of course, Amoonguss is just such a good mon. Very, very hard to break. And this is starting to form my wall core. This helped with my electric types because it takes the pressure off of Extra Drill to be taking the electric type moves. So yeah, Amoonguss, another mon that I've wanted to try is just I've never found a team that it fits with, but with Sun, it's really good. Like with Sand, it's not very good, but I can always just run the AV Regenerator set, so then I won't even care about Synthesis. So good stuff there from Amoonguss. And then I was like, okay, so I have Amoonguss. Let's go ahead and pair a water type with this, just fill out an absolutely filthy core. And I was like, alright, I'm gonna get Slowbro. And oh, by the way, I was also going to get Heliolisk like right after Keldeo, and then Ian sniped that for me. Ian sniped me like 6 times this entire draft. So I can go over them all at the end. But yeah, I was like, okay, let's just build something filthy. I'll get Slowbro. Ian took it. I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll get Slowking, because if you look at these two together, it's absolutely filthy. It is a regenerator core, and Amoonguss is weak to Psychic, covered by Slowking. It's weak to Fire, covered by Slowking. It's weak to Ice, covered by Slowking. The only thing that Slowking doesn't cover for it is the flying typing, but I'm not too concerned because we have a flying resistance there, and there. So not too concerned about that. And then Slowking, the only thing that Amoonguss doesn't resist that Slowking is weak to is Bug, Ghost, and Dark. But you can see I have a lot of resistances mainly in this area. But yeah, Slowking, I used it last season. It's a very, very good backbone to a team. I really enjoyed having it. So we're bringing it back again. I'm not going to be my Z user, so you won't see any Week 13 Trick Room Belly Drum shenanigans like that. But yeah, just Calm Mind, Fire Blast. It also gets Foul Play as an option. Focus Blast is there. Ice Beam, of course. Psychic, Psyshock. You can run Nasty Plot, run Calm Mind. You can run Light Screen and Reflect, so it can be dual screens. Magic Hook that bounce back like rocks. Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. Of course, the Slack Off, and then like Thunder Wave, Toxic. Tri Attack if you want to be that guy. I don't even know why this thing gets Tri Attack, but then Trick Room and stuff like that. So yeah, it just provides me with a really good regen core. And regen cores are really valuable because they're stupid hard to break through. Because if I don't want to, I don't have to run Slack Off or Synthesis on these guys. I can just run regen and go back and forth between the two, and I'm giving myself health, and I don't have to run that extra move, which is really good versatility that I like with these mons. But I obviously wanted Slowbro over Slowking just because you can see Amoonguss is more specially oriented. So if I could get Slowbro, which is more physically oriented, I feel like that would have been a little bit better. But it's alright. I'm not heartbroken over it. Slowking is still going to perform like an absolute monster. And yeah, it just forms a great core and gives me true setup outside of SD Drill, because like Calm Mind Keldeo is a thing, but it's just not as prevalent as like Calm Mind Slowking. So that was good. Finally have a good wall core that we have here. And then I was looking In tier B, I was like, okay, what good dragons are left? I was really deciding between two, and I ultimately was like, I said Zygarde 10, and then I swapped it to Haxorus, and I swapped it back to Zygarde, then I swapped it back to Haxorus, and back to Zygarde ultimately. I kept bouncing it around, like I put it in draft chat, then kept changing it multiple times, and then I eventually just decided, you know what, let's go ahead and get Zygarde. So we're going to have Guardian, the Zygarde 10%, oh yeah, Levi's the Slowking, you already know. But yeah, Guardian, the Zygarde 10%, a mon that I've really wanted to use. Like, I wanted to use Zygarde 50%. Like, this team is kind of like salvaging a lot of the mons that I wanted to use in my original plan. So, yeah, I just took Zygarde 10%. It's not as bulky. Like, really, the only thing that you lose out on is defense. It's defense, special attack, and HP. Its attack is the same, and its speed is higher. So it's just a more offensive variant of it. It's not as easy to set up with this thing because it is a little frail. But I really, really like the base 115 speed tier. It's very, very good. So it's very beneficial to me. It gives me good priority in like vanity speed, but decent coverage. We got like Brick Break, Crunch, Dragon Tail. If I want to do a defensive variant, just doesn't make sense though. Earthquake, Extreme Speed, Glare is something cool. Haze, like it's got a lot of utility options. Then Outrage, Rock Slide, Sludge Wave. I'm facing like a Bulu. Stone Edge, 1,000 Arrows, of course, its best move. Superpowers, then Headbutt, all that good stuff, and then can set up with stuff like Dragon Dance. I was really tempted to also make this my Z user, but I just felt like Lycanroc Day and Keldeo are much better Z users. So yeah, this is a very good mon. It provides me really comfortable setup that I'm really comfortable with, because I'm not going to be like setting up on walls for the most part. I'm really just going to be like forcing switches to set up on things. So yeah, Zygarde 10%. I felt like Haxorus would have been better in terms of setting up. Susie picked Haxorus like a couple picks after me. So maybe if I ever want to make the swap, I can talk to him about a trade later on, but I'm pretty content with having Zygarde for now. So yeah, next up, I was looking at the dark types in tier C. If I don't get Scrafty or Pangoro actually went undrafted, but I was like, oh my god, there's no dark types if I don't get that. If I don't get Scrafty or Pangoro, and I need something to help out Slowking, and I don't want Shadow to take Scrafty because Shadow loves Scrafty. And he wasn't actually there, but I was pretty sure it was on his board, so I was like, alright, let's go ahead and take Scrafty. It's a pretty good mon. We gotta need a belt to Scrafty, because he needs a belt. And Scrafty is the best dark type in tier C in my opinion. Pangoro's a close second, of course. But Scrafty is just such a double-edged sword. It's very, very bulky, 115 in both. Its HP is a little bit to be desired, but it's very, very bulky, and then can also just set up with Dragon Dance. Oh, not... Why are we filtering it by accuracy? Okay. And then just sweeps you with Moxie, and it also can be an Intimidator. I was trying to form an Intimidate core later on, but I ultimately decided that it wasn't really all that possible. But yeah, we got stuff like you can run Bulk Up or Dragon Dance. There's Dragon Claw on there. Brick Break to break something like screens, Drain Punch, Fake Out. Pretty sure gets all the elemental punches, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch. Foul Play if I want to like prevent setup. Sub Focus Punch is a thing. High Jump Kick if I really, really want to hit hard. Iron Head Knockoff. Stab Knockoff is something that's really, really valuable. Outrage, Poison Jab, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, and then Thunder Punch, Zen Headbutt. Super Fang is also a really cool move, so it's in Taunt. It's got a lot of coverage and a lot of good moves, and Scrafty is just such good value at the tier C. I just figured I needed this mon to ultimately help my Slowking. It's very weak to Fairy, sure, but I have 4 resistances on my team. 1, 2, 3, and 4, yep. So we have 4 resistances to fairy, so I'm not all too worried about that. But yeah, Scrafty. Plus it staggers speed tiers. Staggering speed tiers is really nice because it makes it weird for your opponent to actually put speed EVs in. So yeah, very glad I was able to get Scrafty before Shadow potentially sniped me out of it. So going into the next mon, I was looking at my roster and I was like, okay, for hazard removal, we have 1 mon that can remove hazards. That isn't Zard. And that mon is Extra Drill. I'm probably going to want Extra Drill to be offensive most weeks, so I don't want to force it into a rapid spin roll every time. So let's go ahead and look in tier B, see what there is for hazards. Oh, there's a Fortress there. I used Fortress when I had Mega Pincer. It worked really well. So I went ahead and got Fortress, and I think this is one of my best value picks in the entire draft. I'm not going to lie, I got this 8th round. So Fortress, it's such a fun mon. A lot of people don't like it just because they think it's really passive, but there's a lot you can do with Fortress. There's definitely a lot that you can do with Fortress. I hope to keep rocks off the field. That was the idea with this thing. I'm drafting it with the intent of hazard control. Of course, it gets stealth rocks, spikes, toxic spikes, rapid spin. Gyro ball is really good. Earthquake for coverage. Explosion is there. Then you can heavy slam. Pain split if you want the recovery. You can run dual screens. Not recommended, but you can. Rock slide. Bug bite is also something that I've run to almost one shot a Mega Sharpedo. It did like 96% or 94, something like that. And then Volt Switch for momentum, which is really nice. Toxic, of course. So yeah, it's pretty much just a mon that's dedicated to control hazards, but it's very, very good at that. And with my team, that's extremely helpful. And it gives me my favorite strategy to ever use in Draft League format, which is hazard stack. If you've seen the past 2 seasons, Season 3 and Season 4, you will know that I use hazard stack a tremendous amount. So having that option with Fortress is super nice. And yeah, old Goldie coming back. He had a season off, but he's back better than ever for Season 5. So going into the next round, this was about the time that I was asking around at the people who still had tier B picks available. I was like, are you getting Gigalith? No. Are you getting Gigalith? No. Are you getting Gigalith? No. So I was like, alright, no one's getting Gigalith. We'll save that boy till the end. Get some picks earlier just so I can prevent the risk of them being sniped. So going into it, I was like, okay, I have no electric type because I had wanted Heliolisk in tier B, but Ian took that. Like Susie was gonna take it after I told him my draft plan, and I was like, don't do that. And he's like, okay, I'll get Galvantula. I was like, alright. And then Ian took Heliolisk like right before me, so I was like, oh, rip. And I was like, okay, there's still some good electric types in tier C. There's the Rotom forms. There's like Electivire, Electabuzz. Ian took Electabuzz right before me. I wanted Electivire anyways, but yeah, I got Electivire. Electivire, a pretty good mon. It hasn't been used really well. I think it was like 0-7 last season. Very good though. It's got a respectable special attack and attack, so I can use it both ways. 123 attack and 95 special attack. I think this is the same attack stat as an Emboar, to put that into perspective. So yeah, 95 speed. I don't mind that speed. That speed is actually nice, so I can stagger it. Like I said, I love speed tier staggering. So yeah, this gives me, like, with electric types, I feel like I enjoy them the most when they can be both offensive and defensive, because I like to use electric types to counter other electric types. And the nice thing about this is it's an electric type with motor drive, so it's going to be absorbing those other electric attacks. If you're a grounded electric tech, fine, or type, I'll hit you with an earthquake. And if you're in the air, that likely means you have a flying type, so I'll hit you up with that HP ice. Or not HP ice. Well, yeah, HP ice, but I can also ice punch you. So yeah, this thing is really good. Fantastic coverage from this thing. Cross chop, like I said, earthquake, flamethrower, fire punch. You have ice punch, power up punch, psychic, even rock slide, signal beam, thunderbolt, thunder punch, all that stuff, and then volt switch, wild charge. A big thing that my team lacks is pivoting. because I have 1, 2, and 3 pivots. Sorry about that. But yeah, Electivire, I saw it as a pretty good electric type. I tend to like more speedy electric types, but I felt like 95 wasn't terrible. It's just going to have to run a Choice Scarf a lot, but I felt like it was good because it can still hit hard and can take some hits, so I was happy to get Electivire. It's going to be named JJ Watt. Pretty good reference in my opinion. Because Watts and then JJ Watt, but yeah. Next, I was like, okay, I've wanted this. I've been holding out on this Mon for a while. I honestly decided that I wanted this Mon after I picked Slowking. It was somewhere around there. It might have been after I picked Keldeo. It was really early where I decided that I wanted Lycanroc Day. Just because it's a really good Sand Abuser that isn't called Excadrill, so I have other ways to use my weather that I technically don't even have at this point, but no one else is taking Gigalith, so we basically have it locked up. And yeah, I just went ahead and scooped up Lycanroc. It gives me, again, staggered speed tiers, base 112. I like it. So this is my Z user because Lycanium Z is allowed, and if you guys don't know how hard Lycanium Z hits, I forget what the move is actually called, but it turns Stone Edge into a base 190 stab rock Z move, and it hits tremendously hard. And if we can set up like a Swords Dance right down here, if like Swords Dance plus Lycanium Z like one shots a Celesteela or some stupid number like that, its stats are not exactly what you'd love to see out of it, but I like the speed tier. I love the speed tier. The attack stat is usable, very usable. HP and the defenses, it's not what it's here for. It's just here to do well. And a big thing that I also wanted this thing for was a Accelerock, because up until this point, the only priority that I had was my Zygarde, and because I don't think this thing gets Sucker Punch. Yeah, no, it doesn't get Sucker Punch. So my only priority was Extreme Speed from this Zygarde. So getting a Accelerock gives me a lot more options, but Lycanroc has pretty poor move pool. That's why it's not as good, but it has setup options with like Bulk Up and SD, like I said, but it gets Crunch. It has to run Drill Run if it wants to run Ground type moves, because it doesn't get Earthquake for whatever reason. But it gets Fire Fang, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and Stone Edge. It gives me another Rocker, which is really cool. Up until this point, this is my third Rocker. It also gets Sucker Punch. Fast Taunt is really good, Zen Headbutt, and Toxic if I want to like wear down walls. So yeah, not a bad Mon. I was pretty happy to pick it up. And in Tier C, it provides a lot of value, especially for my team, just because it's a Sand Abuser. It can give me like Focus Sash Rocks, just like Lycanium Z is just so hard hitting. So I hopefully can use that a couple times this season. And yeah, Accelerock is really important. I'm getting rid of those flying types to clear a path for Drill to really put in work. And so after that, I pretty much with the next pick, I was like, okay, so I only have 2 pivots and truly only 1 good pivot. So I was like, all right, we're gonna get another pivot, and I wanted a fairy type with pivoting, but there was no fairy type with pivoting left unless I want to pick up like Cutie Fly. And no, it's not worth it. And I was like, okay, so I either get another pivot or I get a fairy type, and I haven't really seen using a fairy type is stupid important in the future, because it's like, what do fairy types help against? Fighting types. Well, my Walcore beats that. It helps against dragon types. Well, I have Disboy. I have Fortress for that, so that's fine. Dark types, I have Scrafty for that. So it's like, I came to the conclusion I didn't need one, so I was like, alright, let's just get a U-turner. This gives me normal stab, not bad, and then more flying spam on top of Megazord X. Decided to get Braviary, also a defog option. I like this Mon, base 180 speed, again, different speed tiers. It's so hard to prep for if you have different speed tiers, because it makes them sacrifice things and add things on that just, it makes them feel uneasy about it. But same attack stat as Electivire, funny enough. But yeah, it's a really good HP stat, so this thing can be defensive. 75 and 75 is usable because of its HP stat. So yeah, I like Braviary. I've never actually used it before, but it looks really fun. Bird spam is awesome. obviously, and then Choice Scarf, very usable. Brave Bird, it's got bulk up options, like I said, Defog. Heat Wave if I really need to. I could run like a Flame Orb Facade set possibly. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure I can run just Frustration better. Does this thing get Double Edge? No, it doesn't. Frustration or Return is probably just better. It does get coverage like Rock Slide or Shadow Claw, of course the superpower. It's got a Tailwind option so the Czar doesn't have to run it if I ever want it. Toxic, and then of course the big U-turn and Whirlwind to phase things out, and then Zen Headbutt. So yeah, I was pretty happy to get Braviary, especially in the 11th round. I think Braviary was really good, and I apparently sniped Susie on this, so sorry about that, Suze. But yeah, Braviary provides a lot for my team. I can get all the hazard removal that I'll take all the hazard removal that I can get, because now I have one, technically two, but we're not going to count it. 1, 2, and 3 removers, 2 really good removers in Fortress, and Extra Drill. And if they both have terrible matchups, then I can just bring Braviary and just get a nice Devog off. But for the last mon, you already know, we got to get Quartz, the Gigalith, and I forgot the nickname, Ruffles. I don't know why, it's just fitting. Talon, of course. Look at them Talons. But then Quartz the Gigalith. This is one of the best shinies ever created in the history of Pokemon, so you know it's got to be shiny. So yeah, we got Quartz the Gigalith here, and it's pretty obvious why I got it. We got it for its ability, Sandstream, and that's pretty much to the extent why we got it. It's kind of redundant a little bit with Fortress. It gets a lot of the same things that Fortress does, like Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Explosion, Atomize. It doubles up on a lot of those. But, yeah, just a really, really big physical wall, 130 defense. It's got a really good attack stat, though. So, the base 25 speed is not really usable with, like, Atomize, but if I want to get, like, a big hit off, I can just, like, click Explosion and just destroy things. That's not bad. It's okay coverage, but, yeah, it's mainly here just to send it out and get Extra Drill rolling with the kills. But could be a physical wall, could be a really good breaker, like Choice Bandit is definitely an option. And it'll just depend on the matchup. Not mad about it. Stealth Rocks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Stealth Rockers. And likely like two of them are going to really be brought. Gigalith and Fortress will be my main rockers probably, just because, you know, Lycanroc and Drill are going to be like sweeping and stuff like that. But yeah, Gigalith, I had to get it, just to give Extra Drill that instant weather. Instant weather isn't necessary. Like I could always run Sandstorm on Drill, but it's that extra turn that really diminishes my momentum. By going into Gigalith, I can like just go into Gigalith, click like Choice Bandit Explosion or some stupid thing like that, and then go out into the Drill. Or if I have like Smooth Rock, I can just click Explosion. But yeah, that is going to be my team, guys, and I hope you all are hyped for my 5th season in the ASL. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to do some live comms. You guys will still be getting team builders. I'll try and get them up on time, do what I can. Life is busy, but yeah, I'm going to try and do live comms, but we'll see what happens. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please leave a like and subscribe down below so you guys don't miss it, and I will see you guys later.